Our internet's kind of weird today. Our internet's a little weird today. Yeah, it says pause because of slow connection. We're going to try. Good morning, you guys. Good morning. Thank you guys for being here. We're just going to give it just a couple minutes. I was supposed to be starting this live at 8, just running just a tad behind. We're going to be doing Job 25 through 29 today. So let's just give it just a little bit of time for anyone else to log on. Running just a few minutes behind today because I'm a little bit under the weather. Got really bad sore throat, actually. But I'm here. Yay. And we're going to have a good Bible reading. Job 25 through 29. And I'm reading out of NIV. So, hey, if anybody knows how to, on TikTok, if anyone knows how to get, like, the filter off. Because I don't know what filter is on this. But I cannot figure out how to get it off. It, like, enhances the makeup and everything. And, I just want to take it off. Because I believe in kind of just being real. So, I cannot figure out how to get it off. So, anywho, I'll have to look it up. But if you know, drop it in the chat. If anybody knows how to do it easily. All right. Let's go ahead and get started, you guys. So, thank you guys for being here. My name is Sarah, if you don't know me. But this is not about me. This is about Jesus. And the goal of today is literally just to read the Bible. It's to get closer to God, to learn about Jesus' life, to learn about the character of God, who God is, and to be able to know what's going on in this world that we are in today. Because this is where all the answers lie. Anything that we're dealing with, any problems, any kind of thing that's going on in the world today, the trials, the tribulation, all the craziness, the Bible has the answer for all of it. It's literally an instructional manual. So as the world continues to get crazier, which it's going to, it is super, super, super important to know the Word of God. More important than ever, you guys, than to know Jesus. So it's literally more important than ever. So we don't want to be deceived. We don't want to be misguided and tricked. And something wonderful happens when you know the Word of God is you all of a sudden, it like opens your mind up. You all of a sudden like have way more discernment. You are able to discern things and to see what's really going on. You can sense when things are good or evil because light and darkness can't exist together. So when you become a Christian, you're full of light. When you're walking outside of God's will, you're full of dark. And when you're a Christian, all of a sudden, when you kind of try to step back into that darkness or you see the darkness, it's like because light and darkness don't exist together, it's very easy to identify it. So, all right, guys, here we go. Job 25 through 29. Hey, if you've got any questions as we're reading or you've got any comments, drop it in the comments below and I will do my best to acknowledge it. If I don't acknowledge it in today's reading, then I will look at it and I'll acknowledge it tomorrow. This is going to be an everyday reading from 8 a.m., depending on how much we have to read, depending on how long it takes. But we should get through today pretty fast, you guys. So I appreciate you guys being here. We don't have too much to read. 25 through 29. It's going to go fast. Okay, so where we're left off in Job is going through it, you guys. If you've never heard the story of Job was an upright man. He was doing everything right. Be like us doing everything right, trying super hard to be like a perfect person and literally not walking in sin. Like we've changed our life. We're doing good things. And then all of a sudden Satan comes down and says, "Oh, well, that's funny because you won't let me attack Job." Or put that you're in that place. Like, you won't let me attack, insert your name. And God says, go ahead, because they're such a good person that they're not going to turn their backs on me, even if you attack them. So Satan did just that. Satan he killed all of Job's kids. He made Job super sick. He's got sores all over his body. He killed his livestock. Like literally everything Job has worked his entire life for has been ripped away from him in a short window of time. So now Job's friends are over there, and instead of their making him feel better, they're over there basically condemning him and saying, well, if you wouldn't have messed up and you're not walking upright, obviously, and that's why you're having all these problems. But the funny thing is that he has been walking upright. So imagine yourself being falsely accused. It's literally like the worst thing. But then on top of that, you have sores all over your body. You've lost everything. And now here your friends come, and when you need them more than ever, they're falsely accusing you. Like, I can't even imagine like how hard that would be. You've lost everything. You're so broken that it's like just to take a breath is painful. And your friends come to support you, and here they are accusing you of not being a good person and telling you that God's punishing you because of that. That's horrific. Horrible. That's where Job is at. Okay, now his friends are going to be talking. Here we go. Bildad is going to tell him what he thinks. Then Bildad and the Shuhite replied, dominion and awe belong to God. He establishes order in the heights of heaven. Can his forces be numbered? Upon whom does his light not rise? How then can a man be righteous before God? How can one born of women be pure? If even the moon is not bright and the stars are not pure in his eyes, how much less man who is but a maggot, a son of man who is only a worm? So the little side note here says, where is God? In the speech recorded in chapters 23 through 24, Job movingly described the feeling of God's absence. So this was this is a little bit backed up too. God's absence at his time greatness. Job movingly described the feeling of God's absence at his time of greatest need. God also seems absent to the poor, the fatherless, and all those suffering without relief. He said, Bildad replied with the shortest speech in the book, chapter 25. He questioned whether any person who is but a maggot, a worm, had the right to challenge God so boldly. So that was referring a little bit to what we read yesterday. But Job's questioning what's going on. His friends are questioning what's going on. So, all right, Job 26. Then Job replied, how have you helped the powerless? How have you saved the arm that is feeble? What advice you have offered to one without wisdom? And what great insight you have displayed? Who has helped you utter these words? And whose spirit spoke from your mouth? The dead are in deep anguish, those beneath the waters and all that live in them. Death is naked before God. Destruction lies uncovered. He spreads out the northern skies over empty space. He suspends the earth over nothing. He wraps up the waters in his clouds, yet the clouds do not burst under their weight. He covers the face of the full moon, spreading his clouds over it. He marks out the horizon on the face of the waters for a boundary between light and darkness. The pillars of the heavens quake aghast at his rebuke. By his power he turned up the sea. By his wisdom he cut Rahab to pieces. By his breath the skies became fair. His hand pierced the gliding serpent, and these are but the outer fringe of his works. How faint the whisper we hear of him. Who then can understand the thunder of his power? So a little summary of that says, 26, 6-14, a faint whisper of God. The book of Job contains some of the best nature poetry ever written. It frequently cites nature as one of the proofs of God's existence. Job himself never denied God's power. All the wrongs of nature, he said, are but the outer fringe of his works. A faint whisper of God. His complaint was not about power, but about justice. How could a God so powerful treat him so unfairly? So I think that we'd all be asking that right about now at this point. You guys, give me 2 seconds. I got to grab my dog. I got to bring my dog in. Hold on 1 second, you guys. Sorry. Come here, Vanko. Come on. Come on, buddy. Good boy. Come on. Come here. Come on, buddy. Good boy. Okay, I'm back. He's got this thing where he likes to, when he's ready to come in, he starts doing his little one woof, then he does 2 woofs, and he just continues on. Okay, here we go, guys. Job 27. And Job continued his discourse. As surely as God lives, who has denied me justice, the Almighty who has made me taste bitterness of soul, as long as I have life within me, the breath of God in my nostrils, my lips will not speak wickedness, and my tongue will utter no deceit. I will never admit you are in the right till I die. I will not deny my integrity. I will maintain my righteousness and never let go of it. And my conscience will not reproach me as long as I live. May my enemies be like the wicked, my adversaries like the unjust. For what hope has godless when he is cut off? When God takes away his life, does God listen to his cry when distress comes upon him? Will he find delight in the Almighty? Will he call upon God at all times? I will teach you about the power of God, the ways of the Almighty. I will not conceal. You have seen this yourself. Why then this meaningless talk? Here is the fate God allots to the wicked. The heritage of a ruthless man receives from the Almighty. However, many his children, their fate is the sword. His offsprings will never have enough to eat. The plague will bury those who survive him, and their widow will not weep for them. Though he heaps up silver like dust and clothes like piles of clay, what he lays up the righteous will wear, and the innocent will divide his silver. The house he builds is like a moth cocoon, like a hut by a watchman. He lies down wealthy, but he will do so no more. When he opens his eyes, all is gone. Terrors overtake him like a flood. A tempest snatches him away in the night. The east wind carries him off, and he is gone. It sweeps him out of his place. It hurls itself against him without mercy as he flees headlong from its power. It claps its hands in derision and hisses him out of his place. Okay. A little recap of what we just read. 28:1, a poem of wisdom. In the midst of his beautiful speeches, Job included a self-contained poem of wisdom. It uses the analogy of mining precious metals to make the point that wisdom cannot be found by any amount of searching. God alone knows where it dwells. In the rest of the poem, Job admitted some things were beyond his understanding, then lapsed into a reminiscence of what life was like before his time of trials. So, Job's doing a little bit of reminiscing, thinking back to the good old days, if you will. Okay, here we go, you guys. There is a mine of silver in a place where gold is refined. Iron is taken from the earth and copper is smelted from ore. Man puts an end to the darkness. He searches for the farthest recess, for one is the blackest darkness. Far from where people dwell, he cuts a shaft and places forgotten by the foot of man. Far from men, he dangles and sways. The earth from which food comes is transformed below as by fire. Hold on, I wrote over this here. I can't read it. Sapphires come from its rocks, I believe it says. And its dust contains nuggets of gold. No bird of prey knows that hidden path. My falcon's eyes has ever seen it. Proud breasts do not set foot on it, and no lion prowls there. Man's hand assaults the flinty rock and lays before the roots of the mountains. He tunnels through the rock. His eyes see all its treasures. He searches the sources of the rivers and brings hidden things to light. But where can wisdom be found? Where does understanding dwell? Man does not comprehend its worth. It cannot be found in the land of the living. The deep say, it is not in me. The sea says, it is not in with me. It cannot be bought with the finest gold, nor can its price be weighed in silver. It cannot be bought with the gold of Ophir, with precious onyx or sapphires. Neither gold nor crystal can compare with it, nor can it be had for jewels of gold. Coral and jasper are not worthy of mention. The price of wisdom is beyond rubies. The topaz of Cush cannot compare with it. It cannot be bought with pure gold. Where then does wisdom come from? Where does understanding dwell? Is it hidden from the eyes of every living thing? Concealed even from the birds of the air? Destruction and death say, only a rumor of it has reached our ears. God understands the way to it, and he also knows where it dwells. For he views the ends of the earth, and sees everything under the heavens. When he established the forces of the wind and measured out the waters, when he made a decree for the rain and a path for the thunderstorm, then he looked at wisdom and appraised it. He confirmed it and tested it. And he said to man, the fear of the Lord, that is wisdom, and to shun evil is understanding. So Job's talking about God's true heart right now. Okay, you guys, we're almost done. Here we go. This is our last one. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, even if you came on just for a minute. I'm praying for everybody that has even popped on just for a second. All right, Job 29. Job continued his discourse. How I long for the months gone by, for the days when God watched over me, when his lamp shone upon my head, and by his light I walked through darkness. Oh, for the days when I was in my prime, when God's intimate friendship blessed my house, when the Almighty was still with me, and my children were around me, when my path was drenched with cream, and the rock poured out for me streams of olive oil. When I went to the gate of the city, and I took my seat in the public square, the young man saw me and stepped aside, and the old men rose to their feet. The chief men refrained from speaking and covered their mouths with their hands. The voice of the nobles were hushed, and their tongues stuck to the roof of their mouths. Whoever heard me spoke well of me, and those who saw me commended me. Because I rescued the poor who cried for help, and the fatherless who had none to assist him. The man who was dying blessed me. I made the widow's heart sing. I put on righteousness as my clothing. Justice was my robe, my turban. I was eyes to the blind and feet to the lame. I was a father to the needy. I took up the case of the stranger. I broke the fangs of the wicked and snatched the victims from their teeth. I thought, I will die in my own house. My days are as numerous as the grains of sand. My roots will reach to the water, and dew will lie all night on my branches. My glory will remain fresh in me, the bow ever new in my hand. Men listen to me expectantly, waiting in silence for my counsel. After I had spoken, they spoke no more. My words fell gently on their ears. They waited for me as for showers, and drank in my words as the spring rain. When I smiled at them, they scarcely believed it. The light of my face was precious to them. I chose the way for them and sat as their chief. I dwelt as a king among his troops. I was like one who comforts mourners. Wow. Okay, and it says, I've got some thoughts on it too, but let's recap 29:11, the good old days. Tenderly, Job reminisces about the months gone by. Verse 2. Before his trial began, Job could think of no reason why he might deserve such treatment. The point of the book of Job exactly. His recollections of life in those days refuse his friends' accusations against him. He has shown concern for the poor and oppressed, a fact that must have increased his puzzlement over the unfair treatment he was receiving. So think about it, you guys. And Fonzie, thank you for all the likes on TikTok. I appreciate it. Think about it, you guys. Have you ever gone through something or just been hit by things like back to back to back, and you're like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, why am I being punished? What did I do, God? Why do you, when it's easy as people start saying, why do you hate me? Why don't I matter? We go into this pity party, if you will, and things happen doesn't mean that we necessarily have to do something, you guys. We don't have to, we don't have to do something wrong in order to have bad things happen to us. No, it doesn't really work that way. Now, of course, if you continually choose a poor path, bad action, you're going to have repercussions for those. It's going to catch up with you eventually. If you drink and drive, eventually you're going to be pulled over and get a DUI or something worse. So, yes, our actions matter, but it's not always something like we do. Like, so if we lose a loved one, we didn't do anything to cause that, right? We didn't do anything to cause the loss of a loved one. So, anyways, I hope this is encouraging to you guys. I want you to remember Job when you're thinking like, man, I'm really going through it. Like, this is horrible. Like, why, you go into this like state of a pity party in a sense and just feeling like, why is life so hard? Why do I have it so hard? I want you to think back to Job and think about what happened to him and how he did not give up his faith of Jesus, of God. He did not give up his faith of God. Jesus hadn't been born yet, but he did not give up his faith of his God. He stood strong in his faith, and he didn't alter. He didn't waver on that, you guys. So I know for me today, I want to be more like Job. I want to walk upright, and I want to take full responsibility for everything in my life and stay close to God So let's close it with a quick prayer, you guys. I sure do appreciate you guys being here. Really means a lot to me, you guys. As we learn the word, we grow closer together. Okay, here we go, you guys. God, thank you so much for everybody on this live, Jesus, even if they came on just for a couple seconds, God. God, it's not about really the length, the time, or it's about the intention of the heart, God. God, even if it was just a small little seed that you planted in their heart, in their mind, and you said, here I am. That's all I'm doing this for, Jesus. So, God, I ask that through this live, you plant those seeds. You let people remember that they're not forgotten. They look down and there's a live on a Bible reading. Read the Bible in a year. And maybe it's something you've been telling them, and then it just confirms it for them, God, even if they do it on their own, Jesus. God, I just pray for each and every individual on here, Jesus. I pray that you give them favor, and you give them peace, and you give them joy. God, you give them energy that comes only from you. Give them vision, God. Give them vision to walk in purpose, God. It's so easy to get caught up in like the day-to-day, Jesus, paying bills, clocking in and out at work, taking care of kids, whatever people have on their plate, God. It's so easy to get sidetracked and not remember what's really important, God. But first and foremost, it's you. If we focus on you and our relationship with you, Jesus, everything else will fall into place, God. So, God, I ask that you give us the energy and the desire to focus on you, God. And through that, I ask that you open up doors and things in our mind that just gives us vision and passion to walk in our purpose. Even if we're going to a job we don't like, Jesus, I feel like there's people on here that are going to jobs they don't like, God. Even if we're going to a job we don't like, God, I ask that you give us the energy and the vision to build something outside of that, to continue to work on things, Jesus, to walk in purpose, to get up a little extra early, to walk in your purpose. God, I pray for everybody's health. I pray for a quick recovery for myself and my husband. We got a little sore throat thing going on. I pray for everyone to have a wonderful rest of the week and be healthy, be strong. And I'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow, 8 a.m. I'll be here at 8 a.m. So God bless you guys. Appreciate you guys. And bye for now.